over there. Okay. Over there. Okay. Wait. Whoa! Yeah! Good boy. So here we go, guys. This is the brief studio tour. Hey, Hal! There's a dog patrolling around the place. But this is the new studio, which is amazing because it means I can get back to doing YouTube videos. The plan at the moment is to do one every week. I'm setting myself that challenge. And also it's amazing for teaching in and everything. It's hugely bright, windows everywhere. And yeah, we've got all our instruments up. So we've got a Shruti box, one of my Stephen Hill classical guitars, a handpan from Ayasa Instruments. They're sort of like the gold standard for handpans at the moment. This is my new bazooki, an Irish bazooki by Paul Shippey, an amazing maker from the UK. Got various, if you're a nerd, you might know what these various things are. A huge selection of picks. I'm actually going to be doing a video, which is not just for plectrum players, but also for people growing their classical guitar nails. I'm going to be doing a comparison video on all these picks, their various thicknesses and their various shapes, ranging from picks that cost about 40p to ones that cost £40, which is insane. And then my strings, I use knoblock strings. I'll probably be doing a video on them soon as well. And then, oh my god, that's bright out there, but I've set my exposure to that. And then over here we have another handpan. This is in a completely different scale. I'll play you some of this one as well in a second. That's made by Meridian in the UK. That's nitrided steel. And all around the house I have sort of wood that's I carried down from various mountains and hikes around Ireland. And this is the recording sort of setup. We've got AKG XLS stereo pair there with some Sennheiser headphones, pretty bog standard laptop, Stream Deck, things like that. It's a pretty simple setup, really. A dehumidifier so I can keep all of my instruments at the correct humidity. That's my main Stephen Hill concert guitar. Some nice pictures up. There's the dog. That's the first day I got him. Somehow I managed to take that shot on a really crap phone, which I then had to throw away, but I got one amazing shot of him. And I've got my guitar lift rests, which I've done another video on. But yeah, that is the studio. I'll actually sit down and play the instruments. I'm probably gonna have to play with the dog first because he's looking pretty oh no, he just looks absolutely knackered. Anyway, right, let me go sit on the chair and I'll show you some things. Right, so let's have a look at these instruments. So this is my Stephen Hill guitar. This is one most of my videos of the last few years have been on. It's a beautiful Brazilian rosewood back and side, which is quite hard to get hold of now, and cedar lattice top. But I've always loved the sound of it. It has a lot of issues on it, really. Like some of the notes don't really sustain as much as I would like, but as I've found over the years of commissioning guitars, I think Stephen's built me about 5 guitars by now. Every single one has its drawbacks, but also things that make it beautiful, and there's really no perfect guitar. And every time you improve some aspect of a guitar, usually it's at the sacrifice of something else. But no, this one has such warm, bell-like characteristics to it. It struggles a little bit with projection and some aspects of it are slightly honky, but there's no guitar I've played that makes me just sort of melt and fall in love with the sounds of it as this one. So despite its various issues, it has sort of bound itself to me and my playing. I'll directly compare it to a newer Stephen Hill guitar I have, which actually is better on paper in almost every single way, but I'm struggling to have a sort of emotional connection with it. So this is my second Stephen Hill. So you might be able to tell from this one that it is more open, got more projection and more clarity. Maybe I just need to spend more time with it, sort of opening it up and getting used to it, but But anyway, those are my two Stephen Hill guitars. I'm going to be doing longer videos on all of these instruments to properly have a look into them, but just to sort of show you what's on the shelves, so to speak. And now we have the two handpans. So this is an Ayasa Ember Steel handpan. It was made for me at the end of 2023. It's made from Ember Steel, which is a variant of stainless steel. As you'll see with the other handpan, a lot of handpans used to be made of nitrided steel, and they give a slightly duller, rounder sound. And the instrument itself is sort of prone to rusting and things. You have to wipe it with isopropyl alcohol regularly. But these stainless steel ones give a lot more sustain and clarity, and you don't have to look after them quite as much. So this one has a selection of notes around the outside that form a D-curved scale. And then it has a central note in the middle called the ding, which is another D, sort of the octave below. And you can form chords. There's a lot of percussive possibilities. So there's a real sort of wide variety of sounds you can get out of it. You can do harmonics, much like on a guitar. And because it's metal, you can bend the metal and deform it to bend those notes. So you could have a little groove like this. And you can sort of create your own percussive elements and chords and melody and bending of notes. I think it's a real, really, really interesting instrument that's becoming more and more popular as time goes on. And then, in contrast to that one, we have this Meridian handpan. This is nitrided steel, so it needs a bit more looking after. And this is in a C-sharp Ragadesh scale. So the central ding is still there, which is a C-sharp. But then we have a much more unusual scale. And you can probably hear it is not quite as clear in the sustain. It's not quite as long. It's a bit of a rounder sound. So it's a bit less versatile, this one, because there's actually only maybe 4 or 5 unique notes. There's different octaves of them, but you struggle to create too many interesting harmonies out of that. So it's a bit more for fast, percussive, melodic playing. Right, let's move on to the Irish bazooki. Because this room has so many windows, it's so damn hot in here. So this is my new Irish bazooki. As I say, I'll be doing a full video probably on all of these instruments soon, but I just want to give everyone a flavour of what's coming in terms of performance videos and instructional videos. My whole sort of direction as a musician is changing quite drastically from not just being on guitar. And this instrument is a big part of this. This is an Irish bazooki. It is tuned in sets of strings. So instead of just 4 strings, which it might look like, they're in double courses. So I actually have 2 G strings on the bass, 2 D strings, another 2 A strings, and then 2 D strings on top, which gives it a wonderful resonance to it. So I'll play you a couple of things so you can sort of hear what it sounds like. Quite often it'll have a capo on for sort of singing in different keys. I'll be doing a video on these capos from G7 quite soon as well. Beautiful sound, really, really unusual. I sing with it, but I haven't quite gotten the setup right to be able to do instrumental and voice without it sounding like a big old mess. Actually, I'll show you how it pairs with the instrument behind me as the final instrument you'll hear today. So this is the Shruti box. It's an Indian instrument usually used for chanting and meditation and singing with. And essentially it works much like an accordion or a squeeze box. It has a set of bellows which you can operate by hand or by foot, which I'll show you in a second. And then you have a selection of keys that are laid out just like a piano keyboard. So if I put this in, let's put it in C major, or C, G and C. And now I've exposed the reeds inside, so when I operate it with my hands, it's a lovely, rich, warm tone from it. And I use this a lot actually with the bazooki, so I'm going to try and pair them together now. He sells these footstools, which are an ingenious invention to be able to sustain the drone with your hands free so that you can play along with an instrument. And now I can operate this hands free, and it's a lovely drone lying underneath. And then if you're singing on top as well as that, it's pretty awesome being able to have that much surrounding yourself. When I'm used to being a classical guitarist, just sitting there with the beautiful silence that a classical guitar can create, but being able to now have this wealth of sound whilst I'm singing or strumming or whatever it may be is pretty awesome. So yeah, watch this space. There is a lot of very new stuff coming to the YouTube channel. There'll be singing with Shruti box and Irish bouzouki and guitar and handpan. Yeah, I'm really excited for what's to come, and I hope you guys enjoy watching it. But anyway, let's leave that there. That's the studio tour. I'll be doing videos on quite a lot of things over the coming weeks. I'll be showing each of the instruments individually and more in depth, talking about the materials and how they were constructed. I'll be doing an entire video on different types of plectrums, which will actually bleed into a new video I've got about nails for classical guitar. So don't just tune off because you think it's about plectrums. Basically, the sheer volume of different shapes and sizes and thicknesses of plectrums gives real food for thought that classical guitarists are relying entirely on their genetics to play, which I think is absolutely mad. So watch that space, there's some more on that. But I hope you've enjoyed this studio tour, and please let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see from the channel. Obviously performance ones, but if there's stuff that you'd like about technique or recording gear, or maybe stuff completely outside of music, hobbies. I quite often want to do totally unrelated videos showing my favourite board games, video games, or silly things like that to make this channel a bit more varied and not just guitar. So drop a comment below if there's anything you would like to see, no matter how weird or wild or off topic it might be, please let me know. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching.